I had a very long conversation with this person. And let's just say that I learned a lot of things. Sure, it's clean, but hold on. Let's see. There we go. Let me get some of this fucking toilet paper here. Wipe that up there. Fucking, here we go. There we go. There we go. Just, yeah, get some of this fucking, here, now I have all white toilet paper all over there. What the, yeah, there we go. There we go. Fucking hell. It's irritating the crap out of me. You know what? I'm going to put on a different shirt. It's bothering me. Anyway, so I had a very nice talk. And it turns out the shitware is a more despicable person than you could ever imagine. I'm not going to mention the details unless this person allows me to. But let's just say the shitware screwed over some friends of mine pretty fucking damn badly. Let's just say the shitware, well, he betrayed somebody worse than any betrayal before. It's almost, well, it's not as bad as keeping the name The Uncle Rico Show that was named by a pedophile. It's not as bad as that. But what he did was betray a trust and lie. Let's say he lied to my friend, comedian Greg Fitzsimmons. Yes, I know all about it, dickhead. You think that I'm not going to find out what you're up to? I just got permission. He lied to Greg Fitzsimmons. And he gave Greg Fitzsimmons the wrong number of mine. So Greg couldn't get a hold of me. Greg, I never got your messages. I never got your phone calls. So the shitway lied to you and he betrayed you. And I got you back, Greg. He's a fucking piece of shit. And I'm telling you right now, shitwayer, how do you sleep at night? Considering the shit you do to people. How the fuck do you sleep at night? It's fucking amazing what he did. But let's just say he made a promise to a few people and he betrayed them, including my buddy Greg Fitzsimmons. And no, shitware, I am not letting you get away with this one. No. Maybe one day this person will let me really talk and go into details with what bullshit he pulled. Let's just say, I'm trying to be very respectful. This person and Greg both asked the shitway not to do something. And he told them he wouldn't. But he did it anyway. And there's another person involved too. So all the shit you talk about me and all the crap, what a bad poison I am. Well, not at all. The Duke is a good person. A very good person.
Shuli, he brought up a couple things today that I have to ask you about. I have to ask you directly. They were bold accusations that you made a deal with Kate Meany's mom and Craig Fitzsimmons to not play the tapes, and then you immediately went back on that deal and betrayed everybody.
The story begins where Kate approaches me and says, I have these tapes. No one asked her to record it. I had no idea this was going on. She gave them to me, knowing and wanting us to play them with her consent. So then the blow up happens with John. And, the tapes thing kind of starts. The wheels start rolling. We're going to play it at DabbleCon. She's aware of it. There was talk of her coming out for it. Then John gets her mom involved. He starts texting and posting. I don't know if we have any of the stuff, but really ugly stuff. Kate Meany has no idea of the storm that is coming. I warned her mother. She didn't care. Explains everything. So in the first text, you see, Mary, you have failed. You have that? You have failed. She is on every show now thanks to your negligence. The shitstorm coming your way and her way will be insurmountable. I warned you. Now it's on you. She's lying about me every step of the way. What a great mom you aren't. I warned you. You believed her over me.
How dare she?
Lawsuit coming. What a fucked up parent you are. And that's coming from John. So I end up speaking to Greg. He calls me. I hadn't talked to him in like a decade. He calls me out of the blue. I was surprised. I call him and he tells me, I'm Kate's godfather. Kevin was a good friend of mine, her dad. I say, yeah. He says, look, this thing's getting out of hand. It's getting crazy. And the whole time I'm thinking, why is Greg involved in this? Like, why is he getting involved in this? This is months, years in the making. It's happening. There's no way out of this. This is something that was given to me. And I'm not going to get into, hey, she gave me the tapes. She knows we're doing this. I don't want to get into any of that because this is the first I'm hearing from Greg in a decade. And he's sitting here telling me, you can't play as a favor to me. Could you not play these? Now, I've heard all the tapes before we played any of them. There is nothing that put Kate in a bad light in those tapes. And I don't know if you guys recall, but Kate's run of shows back then was not great. Every show she was on, she was either harassed, attacked, or ended up breaking off a friendship with whatever the people that backstabbed her and didn't take stuff down she wanted to take. It wasn't a great run in the Dabbleverse. Dabblecon, she became Rudy of the Dabbleverse. She is a goddess in the Dabbleverse now because of those tapes. And I would have never, I think the tapes, I know for a fact, the tapes are 100% making John look like shit. Now, why is John so passionate about Greg Fitzsimmons all of a sudden? Because Greg is saying, well, I didn't want them to play the tapes. And now John finally has somebody out there that didn't want the tapes played. But he didn't want the tapes played because of you, John, because he's your pal and he's looking out for you. He didn't want the tapes played because he assumed it was going to make Kate look bad. And they did not.
Right.
And so for him to call me 10 years, out of the blue and be like, hey, do me a solid. I'm not going to get in a back and forth. And I said, whatever, man, we'll see what we can do, but everything was in motion. Dabblecon was happening. The tapes were being played. There was no backing out of this. He's attacking this woman. He's attacking her mother. Fucking punch him back in the face. That's what you got to do with bullies. That's what I learned with this guy. All he is threats. All he is texting you and telling you what a shit parent you are and what a horrible person you are because this person is shining a light on John and showing John for his true self. So, yeah, I guess, at the end of the day, did I tell him I would never play the tapes? No, I didn't say that. But I told him I'll see what I can do. I respect Greg for calling, but he had no place to get involved with it. Now you're siding with a guy who calls her mother and her horrible people, horrible names. And now you think you're on the right side of this. What if I were to tell you Kate and I are still in contact? She doesn't hate me. She's not upset about what happened.
Did Kate ever reach out and say, hey, I changed my mind. Don't do this.
Nope. Never.
He also accused you very directly and feels it's equally as bad that Greg asked you for, John says that Greg asked you for his number and you intentionally gave him the wrong number.
Listen, I had the number that week. Let's not forget, John changes his numbers a lot more frequently than he changes his clothes. So,
and he did mention that. He said, now, granted, I do change my number very often, but he feels you were trying to throw him off the scent and intentionally trying to hurt his career by not connecting Greg and him. Because,
well, again, it goes back to what I said. John now thinks Greg didn't want the tapes played because it would hurt John. John is missing the entire point of why Greg reached out. As the godfather of Kate, he's looking out for Kate. He's not looking out for John.